Hello and welcome back to 2048. We are not saved, I do not think. It's fine. And is it working? It is working. Fine, fine. And off we go. Well, I was just reading something interesting. Did you know? Okay, you think Apple's a big company? Apple's is a fruit. Idiot! Oh, I don't know if that was funny as I thought it was. Anyway, I bet you probably think Apple's a big company, right? Big in the United States. The biggest market capitalization of any United States company. Even bigger than Exxon. Yeah, but when you compare it to Samsung, it's not. I was just looking at the market capitalization of. Not that I know what that means. But I think that's how much approximately it would cost to buy out all assets, all the stocks. I could be wrong on that. I have a kind of feeling that's what the market capitalization is, but whatever. It's probably like the number of shares times the cost of each individual share. But maybe wrong. Whatever. Anyway, it turns out the market capitalization of Samsung, I was just reading, is $164.5 trillion. Yeah, that's that's that basically puts it being 500 over 500 times as large as Apple. I just want to put that in perspective. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, whoa, dude. I don't know what's going on there, but if that's true, that's unbelievable. Now, if that's just in yen, okay, okay, but if that's in U.S. dollars, that's almost disturbing. Because not necessarily because the company's that big. No, I got nothing against big companies, but necessarily. But just that I didn't know it was that big before. Maybe you can enlighten me in the comments. Yeah, because if that's true. Oh dear, that's I can barely even wrap my head around that. I mean, that's basically saying that that's like the entire U.S. debt. Almost. It is the entire U.S. debt, but if you count unfunded liabilities, basically things that basically the promises that the United States government has made that it must keep, payments that an estimation of the payments that it must keep, assuming that their own figures are accurate and they're not using some kind of like Enron kind of accounting here, then yeah, that's still to over $200 trillion that's basically guaranteed to give out, and it's not been funded yet. So if we can figure out how to fund it, that is all going to go into debt eventually. So that's just fun. Whoa, what's going on? Couldn't see any of that, I don't think. Yeah, so I guess it's not actually as big as the debt is going to be. Or maybe we'll just be able to fund liabilities. Maybe. Oh, who knows? I don't know what it means, of course. Just. And I went left. I don't think I should have. Because now we've got ourselves a 32 out in the middle. Oh, there we go. Win. Right. Now it's time to talk about olives. Olives. Why are they healthy? When they contain 80% fat, and we've just been talking about how bad fat is. Well, we haven't been talking about how bad fat is. There's nothing wrong with fat. It's just another form of energy, still like carbohydrates. The problem is it's a little easy to eat too much of it because it's just so high calorie. It's 9 rather than 3.75. So, as you might imagine, you can't eat as many olives as you can eat peppers. That being said, you should probably eat some olives because they have an excellent. And here's the kicker: not just omega 3s, which are excellent for your heart, for your brain, for your eyes, for other things too, but I forget what exactly. Not just DHA, omega 3s, but also omega 6, which is, and some omega 9s, but particularly the omega 6 is of interest. Because you can have more omega 3s than you should have in relation to the omega 6. You have to keep them in balance. Most people have more omega 6 than they should have omega 3. What's fun about olives, though, is that they take all the. If they're your only source. If they could somehow be your only source of omega 6, which is nearly impossible, and your only source of omega 3, then you would be 100% balanced, son. They have an excellent distribution. That's pretty much perfect, actually. It's quite something. So, but of course, that's only that is really quite unimportant because I mean it's not unimportant. It means that if you eat a lot of olives, and particularly a lot of olive oil, which is where the olive retains all of the omega or almost all of the omega 3s, then you're gonna be fine. And in fact, many of the people who have lived to be super centenarians ate heavily of the olive. Like I think pretty sure the person who the longest lived of all of us, the longest lived human in that has been confirmed to have been longest lived, 122, a French woman, a long time cigarette a day smoker, and for her entire life. Yet somehow she managed to live for that time, for that amazing time. It's impressive. Most impressive. But, of course, smoking has its problems. And if you look at adjusted minutes taking off of life, then well, basically, the minutes taking up the average life by people smoking, not is or basically how many minutes of everyone's life on if you take the average, whether they smoke or not. Just group everybody together. How many minutes does smoking take off their lives? Well, it actually takes off more minutes than car wrecks, more than plane wrecks, like even more than heart problems on its own. Even if smoking is not the cause of death, or not said to be the cause of death, it's if you look at the amount of minutes it takes off of smokers' lives, that's it. So, but anyway, and because it affects so many people. But somehow this person was but of course poverty is the biggest killer of all. If you look at that, poverty kills way more. In fact, I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I've seen the data, but I'm pretty sure that there is no killer more deadly than poverty. That one's the most vicious of all. Oh, I thought that was interesting. But anyway, a lot of super centenarians, and particularly that person, unless I'm horribly confused, they attributed their long life to the consumption of olives. So, if you want to live, eat olives. Makes sense, right? It's got omega 3s. It's high in good fats. Good fats. You know, it's very low in saturated fats. You don't have to worry about that. It's one less thing to worry about, saturated fats. Wait, I don't know if this one's correct. It is. Oh, yeah. And that's good, because I now have to use it. Let's see. And I was, in fact, if you, I've heard this that olive oil is probably the best, or the second best oil you can have, according to many people. The best, of course, being coconut oil. Now, why exactly that is, I'm not sure, because coconut oil is 80% saturated fat. So that seems to go against everything that I thought I knew. And indeed, saturated fat's bad, but somehow that saturated fat must be good? Oh, and here's something else. You know how beef has trans fat in it? Oh, you didn't know? Oops. Well, it turns out that, yeah, about 2%, perhaps more, of all ruminants meat. Ruminants, I'm talking about ruminants, which is a ruminant, basically, they chew their cud. If they chew their cud, which I'm pretty sure that they chew their vomit, like they vomit into their mouths, something that they already digested, and then they chew it a bit, and then they just digest it. So they swallow and then they digest it more. I think that's a ruminant. Could be wrong. But approximately 2% of all ruminants' fat, and this goes for their milk and for their body fat, is trans fat. In addition to having high amounts of saturated fat, they have trans fat. Now, that's not necessarily cause for too much concern, because while it's not been generally acknowledged that that's any different from most trans fat, there is some preliminary studies that seem to suggest that maybe perhaps it might potentially be discovered one day that natural trans fat, like from ruminant meat, is different. Well, I mean, it is different, but the difference between it and artificial trans fat, like from what is it? From certain vegetable oils, is that you actually get opposite effects. Some of the effects you'd normally get with trans fat, you actually get the opposite effects in some preliminary studies with the natural trans fat. So that's interesting. So on one hand, that's a reason to avoid cow meat, and on the other hand, it might be a reason that you should possibly not avoid it. I don't know what to make of that data. Officially, it's bad. Unofficially, it might be good. I don't know what to make of it. So it's probably something you should look up for yourself. As is all of this. I highly recommend you look everything I'm saying up, because, as you know, I usually am very confused. On this subject, though, I am actually a real well, not a real expert, but I'm a self-diagnosed expert at all this stuff. So I think I know what I'm talking about. And that should beat the times when I didn't think I knew what I was talking about, right? Right. Maybe. I don't know if I'm right. I just think I'm right. Does that make sense? We never know that we're right. Even if we can say word for word what Wikipedia says, we don't know if it's true. Even if we studied it. Heck, if we learned it in school, college even, it may not be true. Like, Pluto's a planet. Fail. It's not anymore, idiot. It's, Plutoid. Yeah, we felt so bad about changing Pluto into status as being a planet into being a dwarf planet that we gave other dwarf planets, like Pluto, the lofty title of being a Plutoid. Well, it's not lofty, but it is named after Pluto, so at least there's that. Alright, that's its constellation. It may not be the least of the planets, but it is the first of the Plutoids and the namer of the type. So, cool beans, right? Although, if it's, I don't guess if, I don't know if it works for other languages other than English. So, if you don't speak English, then you might refer to dwarf planet as well, still being a dwarf planet, or maybe have your own word for it. You wouldn't be using the name Pluto, which of course is that was the name of Pluto, but of course Pluto was in fact named itself by the Roman god Pluto. Do you know that the person who discovered Pluto was a farm boy? Yeah, he was a farm boy. He actually found the planet Pluto, or Plutoid rather. Now, even though it was so small, incredible, huh? And the people who predicted, oh great, astronomy. Oh yeah, we'll just go into astronomy now. Yeah, nutrition to astronomy. What's next? Philosophy. Oh, I love his philosophy. We'll go with that next. Oh, yum. Anyway, Plutoid. Oh yeah, he's a farm boy, and goodness, we've prolonged this a long time, but it is finally upon us. There. Plutoids. Ah, yes, he found it. Oh yeah, for a long time there was a prediction that there would be a planet in the asteroid belt. And it's finally been found, we think. In fact, there may be more than one planet-sized or Plutoid-sized body in the asteroid belt. So that's cool. Oh, and in case you hadn't heard yet, the Higgs boson was finally discovered. So, yeah, for those of you who don't know, that's kind of a big deal. And also, like, that confirms the theory on that there are only a few types of particles, and everything else is really just the other particles, but they're just given different masses based on how long they spend in the Higgs field, which is generated by the energy carrier, the Higgs boson. And we've also discovered that the Higgs boson from canon from Ghostbusters is named after a real thing and not just a theory. Yay! That was a great game. I would so totally play that. The Ghostbusters, except it's only for Windows, and well, I've tried wineskinning it, but the same problem that I had with the Windows version is I'm having with the wineskin version. Namely, it lags out too much, and then the lagging causes it to crash because it's not very well built. It's kind of a software bug. But regardless of what it is, and so that's that, and I can't do anything about it. Oh well. But if you eat olives, you'll live long enough to care. And you might even live long enough to watch all of my episodes. But you probably won't want to, because you might get bored by then. But maybe you won't. If you don't, thanks for that. And that, or rather this, or I don't even know what. But this episode's over, so thanks for watching it, I guess, is what I could say. And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for. Goodbye.